So good morning, Wade. Thanks for coming out, being one of our first guests.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I've always been really impressed by your work. Wade Becher is a BizX member, has been since, I just looked it up, 2016.
Nice.
And so that's coming up on 7 years. I've always been so impressed by your work. Amazing art. And would it be fair to say you're an artist first?
Yeah, I mean, been an artist most of my life.
So tell us about your journey about being an artist and then how did that turn into this amazing company, Wicked Raps?
Yeah, I've kind of come from an eccentric family. My dad being an engineer, artist, guitar player, was just one of those people that exposed me to a lot of entrepreneur type stuff. And I think that that's what gave me the tools and the ability to kind of be my own leader.
Yeah.
And take on my own ability to go out and sell a candy bar to somebody or have enough courage to go over and mow someone's lawn. And I think at a young age, I was learning many of those attributes that would ultimately turn me into a business owner.
Artist, entrepreneur. So where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Clearview, Washington.
Okay.
So not far from here.
Okay. And then tell us about Wicked Raps and how did that come to be?
Yeah, Wicked Raps just kind of happened by accident, really. Was playing with airbrush guns and old school lead-based pinstriping on a hot rod that I was building back in 2004. And I couldn't afford the paint job that I ultimately wanted from a local airbrush artist out of Snohomish. And so ultimately it would push me into buying my first printer. And at the time, had no idea what I was doing. Just decided that I wanted to print my fire flame job that I wanted on this hot rod.
Yeah.
And at the time, solid color wraps didn't exist and everything was 100% commercial geared. And my only purpose was to print my flames.
Yeah.
And so I thought I could buy a printer, get my flames, printed onto the truck. And in the process, I would maybe find a couple of friends that I could do something on their vehicle just to pay for the printer.
Right.
Not knowing that slowly over time, it would evolve into Wicked Raps.
That's incredible. So 2004.
Yep.
19 years.
Yep.
And tell us about your journey, kind of how it started, it's step to step. Well, that's how it started and what did it involve to? Because I know you've been involved with some crazy stuff from aircraft.
Yep.
I visited your shop a few times and got to see the worked on, vehicles that are approaching millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And commercial, private, all sorts of things.
Yeah, I think it was right about 2007 when Wicked Raps was ultimately really born and really started to see an opportunity to make a living doing it. At the time, I was working a full-time job. I was a high school wrestling coach at Sammamish High School.
Okay.
Then when I came home, I did Wicked Raps.
I did not know that.
Yep. And ultimately, in 2007, the economy would make a drastic change during the housing crisis. And a lot of people thought I was crazy for trying to start a business, but I saw it as an opportunity that hadn't yet been capitalized on very much.
Yeah.
And so at the time, I thought I wanted to chase the pimp my ride scene.
Yeah.
But due to the fact that the economy was making a change, I would be at car shows and I was having people come and they would say, hey, could you wrap my box truck for my cabinet company? And at the time, I didn't really even think about commercial application. And that's when it really kind of dawned on me that I needed to shift gears quickly. And I needed to start focusing my attention on commercial jobs. And so I got involved in LaTip and B&I groups and chamber groups. I was one of the youngest dudes in there and nobody had any idea what a vehicle wrap was. It just went right over their head. But I just stayed focused in my lane and just focused on quality and continued to show up to those meetings every day, day in and day out, that I could get in front of people and continue to produce a commercial or anything that would get me in front of those people.
Yeah. Well, and all these commercial vehicles, that's advertising.
Yes.
Billboard advertising is not cheap. And if you own a truck, if you can, wrap it, put your logo on it, put your message on it.
Yeah.
Now it's advertising 24/7.
Yeah. I mean, definitely for your return on investment, vehicle wraps are by far going to be one of your lowest cost in forms of advertisement. It's 24/7, 365. And a lot of times you have an employee that drives a vehicle home. So it's putting your brand, your product right in that neighborhood of where that employee lives.
So did you find there was a big education curve? Like, I think we're in 2023 now. Back then, were you having to like, hey, sell people on vehicle wraps versus today? Now people are like, okay, we need to get the vehicle wrapped.
Yeah, I think back, when I was first starting, a lot of people just thought like decals.
Yeah.
And wraps, especially at that time, were still very expensive. And so for some people, that was a bit of a bullet to bite.
Yeah.
But it was definitely an education process all the time. And even today, even in 2023, still continues to be
Really?
just mostly because the market and that industry is drastically changing daily. And so every day I have to wake up and continue to learn something new. It's that never stop learning type of attitude.
So what percentage of your business today is commercial?
I would say we're 80% on the commercial side today.
Okay. And so that's, box trucks, vans, delivery vans, all that type.
Yeah, it's box trucks, it's doing catering companies, it's going into a chiropractic office and wrapping a wall to make it look like Stackstone and putting their branding in there to give them that, elegant architectural look.
Right.
All the way down to having some contracts and some private agreements through manufacturing sides of commercial companies. And that would be on the aircraft side, as well as a unique Outlander trailer that we're partnered with. And that's a pretty cool process because we are the only wrap company that has a light sport aircraft out there that's part of the manufacturing of that plane.
Right. So yeah, you were working with the manufacturer as it's being built.
Yes. So pretty cool process to be a part of something like that.
Okay. So the next one's what, the Boeing 777?
I don't know if we'll get into that big of a plane because that's, getting difficult.
Are those wrapped or painted?
They are actually, a good portion of them are wrapped, but it's a different process. It's a two-way breathable type of film. It's designed for a pressurized aircraft, so there's a special certification to go through that.
Yeah.
I don't know if our company is ever going to take on something like that, but you never know.
It's interesting. So tell me about like the coolest wrap that you've ever done on a car
Oh man.
or a vehicle.
Yeah, so we do so many unique things. When so many people ask me, I feel like it's such a loaded question because there's different things that I like about different types of projects.
Yeah.
If you're talking about solid color, Pimp My Ride, I would say it's probably the most recent wrap that we did that was a solid color wrap on a $200,000 all carbon fiber body Demon.
Okay.
For a carbon fiber manufacturer.
Right.
But at the same time, I think it's really cool that we do the aircrafts. So I'm very proud of the aircrafts because we're getting into aviation magazines and things that aren't wrap related.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a pretty big accomplishment and something to definitely be super proud of. But on the flip side, I like just doing some of the philanthropy stuff. We just did a young girl who wanted her soapbox derby car to be a patriotic American flag and a stallion running down the side. And she worked all summer long to earn her own money to pay for this thing.
Wow.
And reached out to us. And then I basically just responded back and said that we're not going to accept your money. And so we ended up doing her soapbox derby car. And we created a feel-good feeling for this little girl because I believe that the more we believe in younger youth in regards to dreams and ideas, the more opportunities I'm going to open for that person, the more that they're going to believe that they are capable of being able to go out and create a business like me or the next person.
How cool is that? I want to get pictures of both that Demon and this soapbox derby.
Absolutely.
Cool. We got to share those on our social media.
Absolutely. I've got all the photos and videos for that sort of stuff.
That is so cool. So, in the course of your business, where do you see kind of next 5 years? Where do you see it going?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I look at the brand, especially over the last 12 years, we've kind of had the same look. We've had a lot of our vehicles be very consistent, kind of like, HVAC companies where all the vehicles look the same.
Yeah.
And I've kind of done a re-envisioned pipeline of what I think the forecast of the company looks like over the next 5 years, next 10 years.
Yeah.
And so part of that was redesigning a logo. Wicked Wraps is considered the old school company on the block.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody out there to think that we're falling behind.
Yeah.
So instead, I'm going to flip that and convert the colors to something different. We created a new logo to play off the Seattle Kraken.
I just saw that new logo.
Yep. Just trying to kind of create a new color palette.
Yeah.
And then what we're doing with a lot of our fleet vehicles moving forward is every vehicle will have a different look.
Yeah.
A different finish on it. So we can show customers more creativity, different types of finishes that you can do on your vehicles.
Right.
And then all the way from there, we're expanding into the auto detail side. We have Wicked Wash, which is in the works of being born right now.
Oh, wow.
We've already purchased a van for that for that application of our company, and that will move us into being able to do hard surface cleaning, mobile detail, fleet vehicle cleaning,
okay,
wrap maintenance, and then moving into tint and paint protection film, which we've been remodeling and building in the shop right now. mostly just because that's a service that goes hand in hand with what we do.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people didn't understand why we didn't do it over the years, is mostly because we have been focused on that commercial wrap side.
Right.
But now we're going to capitalize off that other, 40% of the market that we're not currently utilizing, and hopes to create a more encompassed one-stop shop.
Yeah.
So, bring your box truck van to us, get it wrapped. You want your front side windows tinted, and you want this protected. We'll be able to do that. And then at the same time, we can sell you a wrap maintenance program so that we can send a guy out. He cleans your box truck. He takes care of your wrap. And, that's kind of the...
your graphics are protected.
Yes, exactly.
And so I was looking back. We connected with Wicked Wraps back in 2016. That's when we opened our account. How much business do you think we've done together?
Probably somewhere around $500,000 and climbing.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty big number when you look at it.
So I looked up the numbers. We've done about $700,000. It's $350,000 in sales and about $350,000 in purchases over the years.
Nice.
And so how did you first find out about BizX and get involved?
So I have seen BizX, I think, when it first came to the market.
Okay.
I've been one of those people, I pay attention to a lot of things, and I look and I observe. Whether or not I get involved right off the bat is...
You were skeptical, if I remember.
I probably was.
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sure. I was already bartering.
Yeah.
I've always been a barter guy most of my life. I just wasn't really sure, what is BizX? It's controlled bartering. How does that work?
Yeah.
And so I think when we first got involved, I wasn't really sure how it was going to, work in the business. And I think a lot of people get involved in BizX and they think, well, I got to be 50-50 or 65-35. And we've done a lot of stuff like that over the years. But I think I've realized moving forward that in order for BizX to continue to be an organization that is truly a cashless organization, I think businesses really need to focus on the relationship they're building with that client.
Yeah.
And accept 100% BizX, because ideally that client's going to bring you a cash buyer. They're going to refer a friend. They're going to tell somebody, and you're going to get that cash person that way. And you're still building a relationship with that BizX.
So you found with BizX, you've generated about $350,000 in new sales you normally wouldn't have had.
Correct.
And so that's revenue you got. And then because of that, what I'm hearing you say is that those people then referred other customers to you.
Yes.
And within the community, because one of the things I like to say is a satisfied BizX customer is as good as a satisfied cash customer. So you get that word of mouth.
Exactly.
And with BizX, you're working primarily with business owners, I'm assuming, right?
Yes. And you're getting direct to the source. Most of the time you don't get direct to the source. It's either a manager or maybe a marketing person that reached out to you on behalf of the owner of the HVAC company or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And BizX a lot of times actually putting you in direct contact with the owner of the company, and you don't always get that.
So you're building your network, your relationships as well.
Yes.
And so what are some of the so you've got this BizX revenue. That's great. What have you been able to use? What have you used the BizX revenue for?
So a lot of things, everything from doing dental work to having dental implants done, to buying jewelry, to taking multiple trips to Mexico, just to give myself some peace of mind and opportunities to relax away from the company.
Yeah.
We've built entire websites, which have been, e-commerce websites that are $50,000 to $60,000 to do some of these build outs. And I've done them 100% on BizX.
Great.
Among having most recently doing a remodel in my personal house, all the way to having bath fitter with Cambidri out there, and they did a phenomenal job and did an enclosure in there. Working with Lifetime and having them do like a hot water tank system in the house. There's multitude of different things I've been able to utilize through BizX, gift cards or restaurants that I've used for my own personal stuff, all the way down to just buying gift cards to be able to give out to clients and things like that as thank yous. Wine, your
recent logo.
Yep, I did that.
So the guys from Bullseye.
Yep. So I've been working with Peter and James over Bullseye, and gosh, I think they've been in it since it first started.
Right. We're trying to get them on the show. So Peter and James, if you're watching,
come on, guys,
got to get you guys down here. But they are OG. I remember, one early BizX users, great members.
Yeah, I think they're awesome guys, phenomenal artists, and a lot of people are like, well, hey, how come you don't design your own logo? And I'm like, well, sometimes as your own artist, you need to work with another company and divide and conquer, because they had really good suggestions and really good point of views. And people are always like, well, didn't you love your logo? No, I'm not married to the logo. I'm married to the company. And so that's, big shift in the right direction, I think. But they did an awesome, phenomenal job. So anybody out there looking for website building, or logo design or creativity, definitely reach out to Peter and James at Bullseye Creative.
Those guys are awesome. So what do you, it's evolving. What are some other trends you're seeing? Like, are we starting to see, I've seen a little bit of, are people putting QR codes on their handles yet?
Yes. So 2011, I think, is when QR codes were really becoming a thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were starting to put them on cars. We started doing that, and then it just kind of went dead.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, nobody wanted QR codes on their card. It didn't really seem like they were going anywhere. And then obviously COVID came around, and it kind of pushed QR codes right back into the limelight.
Yeah.
Which is good because now they're not going away.
So are you seeing a lot of people asking for that?
I actually recommend it on every single customer's vehicle now.
Oh, okay.
It's a great way to be able to create a way to scan something for people that don't want to ask for your information.
Yeah.
If they just want to come up and admire your vehicle, and then they can pull out their phone, scan the QR code. You could have that go to your Instagram page. You could have that direct to a quote request or whatever
call to action you want.
Exactly. Or if you're a nonprofit, you could have it just literally be scanned, and then it opens up a way to donate money.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it's the way of the future. I think you're seeing it in business cards as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Less people wanting to hand out a physical card, but it's, hey, scan my information. Now you can get my LinkedIn and you can get all my stuff, and it makes it quicker and faster, and it just looks sexy and it's more professional.
Yeah. How many vehicles will you guys do in a year?
Oh gosh. We do a ton. Just last year we did over 100 trailers from Mammoth Overland.
Just trailers.
Wow. And then in a year's time, I think we did 24 planes, all different unique designs.
Yeah.
And then, I would say in the vehicle realm, somewhere in the 500, so we would love to double that and increase that.
So is that the goal? What's the goal for 23, 24?
To double the business.
So have you taken on more space?
So we're not taking on more space. What we're doing is we've got a 10,000 square foot facility. I think right now we're probably at about a 60% capacity with usage of the company. So we have room to grow and still be able to work in that facility.
Is that the same facility that I visited you at?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only difference is we've made it way cooler. We've built it to be more of a creative space so we can host events.
Okay.
We'd like to host a BizX event there.
Yeah.
We built out a huge mezzanine upstairs to create kind of like an ultra lounge.
Yeah.
We've put cabinets in, lighting. We've made everything light up with LEDs.
Okay.
TVs in. We put an arcade machine in that I just bought off BizX.
We're going to need to come out there and check it out.
Yeah. The goal is just to get business owners there to see that we're more than a car wrap company, that we can wrap a wall inside your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's kind of the idea behind what we're trying to do is make more fun, create more content, have car shows at our facility. Things of that nature, anything that we can do that gets business like-minded people together.
That's great. Building community. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
So one of the things you just said is you're at 60% capacity. So you've got 40% opportunity for growth.
Yep.
And is that when you look at it, BizX is another mean? I think I saw something come through internally that you communicated to David. They're like, Wicked Wraps wants more customers through BizX.
Yes.
And so they're working hard to identify the right companies to push your way.
Yeah.
And so what happens if we can fill up some of that capacity using BizX? How do you think that positively impacts your business?
I think it's all positive. I don't think there's anything negative you can get from that, unless for some reason you just don't want to do the business. I think the opportunity is knocking, and I see BizX as a program that's going to continue to gain momentum over the next few years.
So, and we'll close this out, but I've got one last question for you as it relates to this. What type of competitive edge do you think BizX gives you a competitive edge? And if so, what is that competitive edge?
I think BizX gives us a great competitive edge. In fact, I don't think there's another wrap company that really is our caliber that's offering or even knows what BizX is. And I think it's a great opportunity because it's bringing tons of unique relationships right to our doorstep that wouldn't either be at our doorstep if we didn't belong. And I would encourage anybody listening to this podcast that if you don't know what BizX is, then time to open up your eyes, get online, get involved with other business owners, do the networking you're already doing today, and then do it in a cashless society and connect from there.
Great. Well, we really appreciate you. We appreciate you being a member and such an advocate over the years. And only wish you the best of success. And we're going to take you up in your offer and host an event and come check it out.
Let's do it. Let's get some cars up there. Let's have some fun. Let's get a catering company up there. I've got a huge facility, so let's make some magic happen.
Hey, all the BizX members that are listening up in the North End, we'll come make it happen.
All right. Well, sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for everybody listening.
Thank you.